know that. You know that. That's what I'm let you know.
Hey, Miss Debbie.
All right, thanks, baby.
How are you today?
I am great. How are you doing?
Excellent. How was rehearsal?
Rehearsal.
How you doing today?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Say your name.
And I'm Debi. I'm Executive Director of the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. And I've been here since about 1990, since the inception of the company pretty much. And I'm so excited about the company as a whole. We have young people that come in for training in music, dance, and theater, and they are empowered through the arts to become catalysts for change in their communities. And it's just a wonderful program. Our kids are so passionate about what they do.
Yes, they are.
In fact, they come in and they audition, with their voices and with their acting ability and dance ability. And sometimes they wonder, wow, will I get in? Will I get in? And it doesn't really matter about your skill level. Of course, it's great to have a great skill level, but it doesn't really matter. It's all about the passion that they share with the arts and the fact that they want to make a difference in their community. And that's what we're all about. We have hands-on with about 70 kids every Saturday, but we put on productions that touch thousands of people all over the country, and especially at home in Atlanta.
That's right.
And it's just an incredible process, I guess. The organization is just very, very dynamic, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
The thing that I think about when I come in, and when I first started coming here, the first time that I heard YEA downstairs rehearsing, and I asked Joe, I said, who is that? And I came downstairs, and now every Saturday I find myself, I can't even come down and look at them without crying, because it's just phenomenal, the work that you're doing. And the way you're doing it, you're actually pulling out the best out of our community. They don't even know they're the best until they get here.
Right. I mean, they are inspiring.
Yes.
Everybody that sees them is like amazed. It's
yes.
Like, we had no idea when we said come to a show.
Yes.
We thought it was going to be a little kiddie production.
Right.
Then they come in there, they're just flabbergasted.
Awestruck.
That these kids not only are very talented, but they have an incredible message to deliver to the audience.
And in many cases, they would not have even had that opportunity, particularly in this area, if it were not for YEA. Am I correct?
And that's one of the reasons that we do YEA, is because when we grew up, there was no place for us to train as artists, unless you went to church, you couldn't perform anywhere, or if you were not in a school that had a little dance group or what have you, there was no place for you. So the kid that was passionate about the arts was somewhat lost, so if you didn't have those vehicles, you were just out there by yourselves. Of course, we can find a ball and a bat on any corner. There's nothing wrong with balls and bats, but some of our kids just don't want to play ball. And I was one of those.
Okay.
So, as soon as summer was out, school was out, my sisters and I would always get together and decide on what play we were going to do for the summer.
Wow.
And that's something that I guess we still do now. In fact, my sister still works with me now.
Okay. Now, the other thing that I wanted to ask you, how do you do it with the resources that are available here? I mean, in my opinion, now this doesn't have to be yours, but the funding and resources that are available and what they leave us to work with in the arts in this region of the country, how in the world do you pull it off, and how frustrating is it getting, and is it getting scary, Miss Debbie, for the future?
It's very scary. It's a challenge to do art, especially in Atlanta, where we have very limited funding. We do get funding from the usual suspects, from Fulton County Arts Council, from Georgia Council for the Arts, and the BCA, everybody, but corporate sponsorship is very low. And we get national funding. We're now hoping we're getting money from National Endowment and hoping for some bigger funds, here and there. But it's very hard because arts money is drying up. It's the first thing to go when
Right.
someone has to slash something out of their
Right,
budget.
right.
Arts is the first thing to disappear, and it's so important. It's like nobody really gets how important art is to the development of our young kids.
Thank you. And you know, when we grew up with instruments.
Right, exactly.
You know, in fact, many of our households, we had to learn an instrument. You know, and I also discovered just a few months back, I was doing some research and found some published astronomers who were highly trained musicians. And they were not educated in astronomy, but their music ability taught them how to look at the universe, and they wound up being published astronomers. That's the link between thinking through things and having a creative mind and developing that mind. So that's one thing that we really need to argue, is getting it back.
That just baffles me, because there are all kinds of reports like that show that kids who are in the arts actually progress better than kids who are not exposed to the arts.
Yeah.
And then we slash it
Right.
when it's time to balance the budget.
And you would almost make you think that it's intentional. Like they say in one breath that they want our children to succeed, but then they do the things that cause them help to not succeed. And that is tragic, and it's almost criminal.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost criminal.
It is.
Our babies are up against so much.
It's like we constantly tell you this, and you can constantly read the statistics, but it's like I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. And it's like they don't get it. They just don't get it.
Well, I know there's somebody out here that's going to hear you, and I know that, you know, we don't have to depend on, like you said, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
You know, that there's somebody out there that will hear you. I want to ask another question, Ms. Debbie. Why do you do this? You know, really seriously, why do you give up yourself? You are always here. The children, I look at the way they look at you, you know, you're such a magnificent leader, and you're so busy with it. And I know with the gift you have, you could make a lot more money someplace else.
Somewhere.
You know, I know you could. I know you could. I know people are banging down the door, but you stick with this. Why is that?
You know, I've never had to really answer it other than, and I guess in my mind, it's just really because I love the kids. I love the kids. Every time I see them doing something positive, you know, I start tearing up. I'm like, I'm the biggest sucker. And the kids always say, Miss Debbie, why are you crying? I was like, I'm crying because I'm so proud of you, because I'm so happy, because if you look at today and what our kids are getting into, or what the media is highlighting,
yes,
that our kids are into, it just makes you so sad. It makes your heart just break. And when I see these kids come in and they are focused, they want to learn, and they're able to share what they've learned with other people and help to change lives, oh man, that's like giving me $1 million every day. It really is. And I don't want to disappoint them. And I guess that's why I do it, you know, just because I love seeing them progress.
Excellent.
I really do. And I have a love for art.
Yes.
You know? And like I said, when I was young, there wasn't a place to do it unless you did it at school or in church. And as I grew up, I just felt like it was missing. It was missing in my life strongly.
Okay.
And sometimes we have parents nowadays who don't even understand why their children are so passionate about the arts. You know, they can understand going to a little league game, but they can't understand going to rehearsal every Saturday.
Right.
So, but it's that passion within the kids that we have got to support. And I felt like my passion was not supported the way I needed it to be supported. And that's why I really do this.
What do you hope to pass on when it's time, you know, to step down? And I shudder to think. I shudder to think of the idea of any of us just, you know, kind of not fading, but going on to do something else. When it's time to pass the torch, what do you want to see, you know?
Well, I got big ideas for YEA. When we first started this company, the whole idea was to make sure that we were doing it now so that the children have something